Cloud has sort of found his way as sort of a niche counter into Rosalina. Does an excellent job of checking the pressure that Luma brings to the table because so many of his hitboxes just extend far enough to threaten Luma's spacing regardless of how defensively positioned Rosalina is.
It's just that Dabuz is just so solid and pretty much playing just out of the range. As you're seeing right now, he's just kind of slow walking, trying to just rack up little bits of damage and jab out. And without limit, this is a very bad spot. All right, like I said, the good Cloud players get limit when they need it, and Anti was able to get it right when he needed it because that could have definitely led to a stock.
It led to 70% of damage, almost uncontested onto Anti, and it's going to take a bit of effort for him to try to build that back onto Dabuz. Dabuz knows he has to play this incredibly patiently, head towards the ledge, fight long enough to get himself a new Luma, also get Anti to get himself his limit back, recharge it, just so he can expend it again.
You know, it's frustrating when your neutral decisions from Anti need to be empty hop about 4 times in a row before you decide to go in on Dabuz, because Dabuz is just that good at reading into what you're probably going to do. If you're not playing unorthodox against a smart person like Dabuz with his defensive playstyle, you're not getting in. And Anti trying to find his way in there to slowly rack up this damage. Good way to start, though, is get rid of that Luma, and again, just reset this position where he's trying to find an opening.
It's one of those situations where it's like, not only is Dabuz really intelligent and very aware of what a player's capable of doing, he also has good reaction time. So in the off chance that you go for some sort of unorthodox situation, he knows not to get too trigger happy with what he wants to do and to recognize what is going to be best in this situation without showing my entire hand. That's what's going to be important in the long run of this set. Because Anti is keen-eyed. He's going to remember what you're doing. He's going to play around that. Because he's just as good, if not even better, at picking up habits and playing around them.
I mean, as we're seeing right now, you know, he was in a pretty decent deficit. You know, it wasn't super insurmountable or anything like that, but Dabuz was just looking so solid, and Dabuz just opting to continue to hold shield. He is starting to rack this damage back up and gets the back air at the ledge. Not going to get the kill, though, but able to get rid of Luma, try and get the edge guard. Good tech, and not able to get the downer. That could have been great for Anti. Gets the anti-air up smash, though, and Dabuz going to take first blood.
Bit of an overshot on that down air. It's pretty unfortunate for Anti, but he's not out of it just yet. No Luma on board. Forward throw is going to set up the offstage situation, which makes it just as easy to remove this newly created Luma. And that's at 133% and counting. With Rosalina with that much rage behind her, it is priority number 1 to focus that kill.
Absolutely. Like, even right now, we've seen many people die around the same percent. Shout out to Mr. R, unfortunately. You know, this is definitely something that is in the back of Anti's mind. He knows that regardless of how much percent he can easily get a kill, so can Dabuz if he catches him with Luma at the right spot on the platform.
Using down tilt, pop up to Buzz, not going to get too antsy at the ledge. Drop down and down air. It's going to be powerful, and it's going to get rid of that stock. With only 58% clocked in on Anti, he plays this out patiently. He should be able to play around this stock, and we might see this go just a little bit longer.
I agree. You know, we just passed the 3-minute mark, and this is definitely something I noticed that both of them are just slowly racking up the damage. There is no big combos going on here. This is all just small interactions that rack up until they can get the kill percent. And Dabuz currently been on top, but it doesn't really matter at the moment the way that Anti's been playing. He gets one hit, then he has to find his way back in again. And it's just been a repeated process. If he could get an edge guard pretty soon, though, much like so, he's in the right spot.
The back air is going to be continuing the edge situation. Even with a Luma present, it has no interactions here. There's no right positioning for Dabuz to really make use of the fact that Luma is back. But a wayward up smash might be the opening that he needs.
Yeah, I think he was trying to maybe run in and throw on an up air to catch him on his landing. And unfortunate for Anti, that just reset all of stage control. And now Dabuz has center stage and just forcing Anti to have to approach yet again. It's going to be a hard punish on the Luma, who's going to take one for the team and actually still not die. Luma, the greatest homie in the game.
Yo, Luma with a good DI, though.
Luma's DI better than a majority of the players that have played today.
Big facts. Nonetheless, though, Dabuz, he's hanging in there, sitting at 86%. He still has full stage control. This is his dance to lead. Anti's in the hot seat, trying to figure out his opening. He needs to figure out a way to get rid of this Luma so he could force the position, and a back air is going to be able to do it. It's also going to give him the ledge control.
Rising fair from Dabuz. The Anti seemed like he wasn't anticipating it. He does get him back off stage yet again, going for the back air, and again with the rising fair. But Anti needs to keep that in his head. He did throw out the jump, though, and he had nowhere else to run. Dabuz gets the anti-air up smash. That was a very hard work for that first W, and we still got potentially 4 more games that could go.
Yo, we even saw a little bit of a pop-off out of Dabuz out of that, too. He was very happy with that game 1. And with good reason. See how many micro interactions between these players led to what made that first game. It took so much effort. Both of these players learning so much step by step by step. This is only game one of the set. Even if this was a best of 3, it would have taken so much work just to get to that point. This is still a best of 5 with very good reasonability of it going to game 5. You can only imagine how these players are going to adapt. Game 1 to game 5 is going to look completely different.
You could very much take that stage and replace it with a chessboard, the way that these two have been playing. They have been slowly choosing their options, making sure that they have the right idea behind everything they do. There hasn't been a reckless approach really from either one of them so far, and there has been a correct option on defense pretty much majority of the time on Dabuz. But once Anti gets in, he's been racking up a good amount of damage. If Anti can just get a bit of like movement going his way, if he can start to steamroll on this pressure, this could work out for him.
The problem is that it's really difficult to steamroll on a player like Dabuz. With how well that he's able to control space with Rosalina and Luma, on top of the fact that he's constantly keeping track of all of those habits that a player has. And this isn't the first time that they've played, not by a long shot.
Oh, absolutely not.
So Dabuz knows how he has to try and limit Anti's options, make him uncomfortable. And limiting movement options is definitely one of the key aspects of preventing him from playing the way that he wants to play.
Yeah, and as I was just saying a second ago, the momentum's finally starting to swing a bit in Anti's favor. Dabuz able to regain center stage, so the bleeding kind of stopped there, but he is looking much more amped up. He's being a lot more aggressive. He's starting to just kind of smother Dabuz. Again, going for one of these up smashes. I think that time he was trying to anticipate the rising fair that Dabuz has gone for multiple times, but Dabuz not pulling the trigger there. Does get the F tilt though, and that's going to be first blood this time going to Anti.
Now it's a matter of how well he can hold this lead. We've already seen just how dangerous Rosalina can be when she has plenty of rage, but Anti doesn't even have a lot of percentage on his Cloud right now. He's sitting at 55. He's got his limit. He's able to press an advantage. He doesn't need to play any more patiently. He can just continue to battle for that stage control, because any percentage he's building up onto Dabuz at this point is just free.
Yeah, got a little bit of extra assistance there coming in from the platform to remove him from the side that Dabuz had, and that's unfortunate for Dabuz because it was working out really well. He could have forced him to have to build the limit and maybe get an edge guard. Now Dabuz has to reset situation and actually have to approach Anti.
Another Luma gets dropped down. Anti trying to take to the top platform, figure out how he's going to press onto Dabuz. And I feel like that's where a lot of the challenge comes in. Not just challenging for stage control or edge guarding, but what do you do in the neutral? What do you do against someone that has so many potential tools and you could just die like that?
It's very, very difficult. Like you're like I said, you're pretty much running your face into a brick wall and hoping that the wall smashes down, because you're trying so hard to stop this this defense that Dabuz has been putting out, and every time Luma comes back, it's just that much harder for Anti to get in. He did a great job in that first stock, but Dabuz again is starting to readjust. Both of these players very good at mid-game adjustments and stopping the bleeding very fast.
Coming down off the platform, bit of a difficult job for Dabuz just because of how well Anti has been covering them. He's made it such a point on Town and City to make sure that these platforms are his territory, that they are troubled waters for Dabuz to land on. And when you have a jungle game like Cloud, trying to get that much damage out of your juggles is pivotal. However, without limit, he's not going to be able to come back, and that game 2 is going to go into Dabuz's favor.
Yeah, having a jump to be able to recover as well is extremely pivotal, and Dabuz immediately recognizing the situation where he can steal it, caught him off the limit. There was nothing that he could do, and what was the start of that game, all in Anti's favor. Dabuz was able to slow it down, bring it right back. Are we going to see the potential swap to the Meta Knight? He's bouncing around.
No, he's moving across.
There it is.
It's going to be the Meta Knight.
It's what I've been anticipating pretty much all day. I expected it to be at the start of this. We had him opting to go with the Cloud instead. Obviously Dabuz has to know this matchup. This is something that is very much a huge problem for this toolkit of a character. And we'll see if the way that Anti plays it, if he's able to finally seal this out and get maybe a potentially 3-0 run back.
The important thing about this matchup isn't just like how bad of a matchup this is for Rosalina, it's how different of a player Anti is with his Meta Knight. His Meta Knight is significantly more neutral-oriented than other top-level Meta Knights that we get to see. He's not like Abadango's Meta Knight. He's not like Rags. He's very much about take the stage control, punish movement options, take advantage of those tools so that you can just open up your opponent. The fact that he does have a consistent ladder against Rosalina and a plethora of tools to remove Luma is just a bonus treat that makes this matchup all the easier for Anti.
And his defense has been really well, much better so far as well. He's been fading out just far enough, and the fact that he doesn't have to worry so much on recovery as he did with the Cloud. It makes it much better for him. Just spacing out with these F smashes, trying to force the Buzz to come in. Gets a dash attack, but Luma's going to stop the hit stun and prevent him from getting that up B.
Luma looking like a guard. He's like, get down, Mr. President.
I said Luma always taking one for the team just to make sure that the Buzz is able to walk and get himself some more bread every other day. And Anti trying his best to break the wall, but gets the anti-air up smash. And as you can see, a little bit of frustration coming out of Anti there, just kind of shaking his controller like, come on, man. And the Buzz looking super confident, just extremely stoic and poised, staring into that screen, trying to walk away with a 3-0 victory right now.
He's playing confidently and he's focused. And that's what's keeping him so alert as to what Anti can potentially go for. Anti got the damage on Rosalina and Luma with no issue. He just needs to get rid of this stock because Meta Knight is light. He is going to pop like a balloon if Dabuz manages any more juggling.
As we saw, there was a couple times where he had him towards the top where he almost barely clipped him, and he could easily die at 40, particularly being here on Town and City. On his Black Stock 2, that's not what you want to do. Gets a hard punish with that F smash, and gets hit by the fair as well. He only has like maybe 2 jumps left. Buzz looking like he's headhunting for it, trying to get the trade. Doesn't get the kill.
It's just a cavalcade of action right now. Dabuz is looking for every situation he can get this kill. And the DI mix up on the Nair. Anti is shaking his head. He's not happy with it. It's going to be a solid 3-0 for Dabuz. He's going to move on to winners finals to fight Light. Anti's going to have to